Recently in a time of prayer, I just kept hearing the great breakaway. And I just pray a little bit longer and I hear again, the great breakaway. Pray a little bit longer and I hear the great breakaway. And then the Lord reminded me of this dream I had, and I just called it losing grip. And it was that the grip of the enemy was on so many people, but the enemy lost their grip. So basically, this is like a part two. It's the great breakaway. And as I just kept hearing that, it's like I saw a vision of people running away from the grip. The best way to describe it is, have you ever seen a running back break through the line and a defender's falling, but it grabs a hold of them? And right at that moment, you're like, okay, is he going to tackle them or are they going to break away? And they're going to break away. You're in that moment right now that the enemy is losing his grip, losing his power, and you have the ability to break away. Now, here's the scary thing. When you break away, you're going to be in the wide open. There's going to be no more limits. There's going to be nothing holding you back. But the sad thing is, and I know this sounds crazy, but a lot of people will go back to the grip because that's their excuse and that's where they feel comfortable. Now let me give you a few scriptures. Galatians 5:1, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free. So you need to stand in the very principles and the thing that Christ used to make you free. What did he use to make you free in this instance? The breaking free, the going forward. And it says, do not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Again, which means you would have to back up. The only way that you can go back into bondage, go back into sin, that yoke the enemy puts upon you, is if you go back. But if you break away and you keep moving forward, you will go towards your God destiny. Psalms 118:8. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. Do you know how many people are held by the bondage and the yoke of people's words, their opinions? You know, some of the best advice you'll ever take in life is good advice. Why is good advice bad? Because it's not God advice. I remember one time somebody in our family gave Autumn and I a 20-minute lecture, and it was some of the best natural advice you could ever imagine. But it was the opposite of what God was saying, because we were operating in the kingdom realm. The Matthew 6:10, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not as a family member gives us good wisdom. It was different. Proverbs 29:25, the fear of man lays a snare. So many times in life, we want to please everybody around us. We want to please mentors, teachers, friends. And a lot of times if we don't watch it, pleasing people, the fear of man, will actually be the snare that grabs us and pulls us back. You got to have the fear of the Lord. I like to call it the respect of the Lord. You never need to do anything that would harm the Lord. The rest of that scripture says, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. Now imagine this. Let's say that there was 12 disciples on a boat. The boat was rocking because the storm was blowing the waves and Jesus was on the water. Where is the safest place to be? One disciple thought it was to be out on the water with Jesus because he was walking on the words. You know, we say the water, but actually when Jesus said come, he was walking on the word. It's not going to make sense what you're doing in life. Whenever you have that break free moment, you break through, you need to have the great breakaway and run and distance yourself from the enemy.